name is Rachel Shepard. I'm the Executive Director of the Pittsburgh Commission on Human Relations, as current as 2023. We're here to celebrate the 70th anniversary of the creation of the Commission on Human Relations, and we are very grateful to have with us today Mayor Gainey to offer a proclamation to the Commission. So everyone, please celebrate Mayor Gainey.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Could the commissioners come up, please? All those that's the commissioners, come on up. First, I want to congratulate the Human Relations Commission on 70 years. That's amazing when you think about it. Barb, come on up. That's amazing when you think about 70 years of service. And so I want to read this proclamation. Now, I'm not going to read all of it because y'all know all of them sound alike. But this is whereas the city of Pittsburgh has long upheld the values of justice, equality, and dignity for all of its residents. And whereas the Pittsburgh Commission on Human Relations has served as our dedicated civil rights enforcement agency since its establishment in 1955. And whereas the Human Relations Commission has tirelessly worked to decrease unfair treatment and discrimination through the investigation of allegations, community education, and policy recommendations. And whereas it has made significant strides over the decade, including the addition of protected classes such as survivors of domestic violence, preferred language, sexual orientation, gender ID, and most recently, medical marijuana patients, thanks to Board. And the Commission's efforts have led to the landmark rulings and settlements that have proved to be very equitable for our society. Therefore, I, Ed Gainey, as mayor of the city, congratulate, who am I giving it to? Congratulate you on 70 years of service. Let's give it up for him. Come on, want to say something? Hey, give it up, give it up. Go ahead, Bob.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much to the commission, to the team, Rachel, Chris, everybody here. You know, in these days, we are in unprecedented times. We are seeing attacks from the federal level and at states all across the country, you know, unprecedented attacks to our civil rights that we have not seen that I have not seen in my lifetime. And I am just I cannot tell you how grateful I am, because just as a legislator, I know that when the community, whatever the community may be, comes to us as council and says, can you help us? Can you help us with legislation to protect us, you know, to protect our community here in the city of Pittsburgh? The team at the Commission on Human Relations, Rachel, Chris, and everyone here, they step up immediately. Immediately, they figure out how we can get it done and what we can do to make sure that Pittsburgh, you know, as the protections and the safety, the walls of safety get smaller, they are here to make sure that Pittsburgh is a safe place and a welcoming place for everyone. Anyway, thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you, both of you, for being out here today and for always being so supportive of the commission and our work. It's not, you know, this is not something that we take lightly. This is not something that we celebrate with each different month of the year, where maybe it's Pride Month or Women's Month, Mental Health Month, whatever it might be. We are focusing on those efforts all year long, and we are here to help protect the people who are being marginalized in the city of Pittsburgh. Really quickly, before I move forward, I'm just going to highlight the commissioners that we have here with us today. We have our first Vice Chair, Genevieve Rossolo, and second Vice Chair, Rabbi Jamie Gibson. We are expecting some others. If they do pop up on us, I'll be sure to introduce them as well. It's not every day I get to get up and just start talking about the commission. Anybody who knows me knows that I can probably do this in my sleep at this point. I've been with the commission for 9 years now in varying capacities, and I've seen the way that things can change year to year, even month to month, just depending on what the climate is here in the city of Pittsburgh, nationally. It can be devastating. And I don't take it lightly that as an agency that is celebrating 70 years, we have been charged with enforcing civil rights laws before even federal civil rights laws were written into law. The commission actually began back in 1946 with the Civic Unity Council, a 15-member community-based advisory board to the mayor of the city of Pittsburgh. A few years later, they created the Fair Employment Practices Ordinance to protect against employment discrimination here in the city of Pittsburgh on the basis of race, color, national origin, and religion. The staff for the Fair Employment Practices Commission was an administrator, an assistant administrator, 2 secretaries. It was a $19,000 budget. Seeing the way that the Civic Unity Council and the Fair Employment Practices Ordinance were working together and feeling that it was too big of a waste of resources, they decided to merge those 2 entities. In 1955, they combined the Civic Unity Council and the Fair Employment Practices Agency to create the Commission on Human Relations. And it was structured similarly to the way it is right now, where we're looking at a 15-member commission of the community members of the city of Pittsburgh. We want it to be diverse, we want it to be representative, and we need people that are going to be dedicated to the work that we are currently doing, because it is ever-changing and it is not just a meeting a month. In 1955, on July 1st, the Commission on Human Relations got its power as an enforcing body in the city of Pittsburgh through the Pittsburgh City Code and with the Home Rule Charter. And we were ahead of the times because creating those Fair Employment Practices Ordinance was well before the Civil Rights Act of 1964. And then when we added in 1959 our Fair Housing Ordinance, we were still ahead by about 9 years from the Federal Fair Housing Act. Pittsburgh has always been on the cutting edge of creating protections to protect its most vulnerable community members. Back in 1959, we were a commission of 19 staff members. I'm referencing all of these points in history to tell more of a story of what the commission started as and what we're looking at, where we are right now, what we have become in 2025. In 1964, we started our work sharing agreement with the President's Committee on Equal Employment Opportunity, which we now know as the EEOC. We've had that relationship for a very long time. And we are still in a position where we have this work sharing agreement with the EEOC and on the housing side with the Housing and Urban Development for our fair housing processing. We pride ourselves on our ability to have these community relationships with these federal relationships so that we can further strengthen the ordinance that we are operating under. Again, ahead of the times, we added sex as a protected status in 1969. In 1972, we had our landmark decision, the Pittsburgh Press Company versus the Pittsburgh Commission on Human Relations. And for anyone that's unfamiliar, that was specifically addressing advertising of employment based on a preference for the person's sex. With that decision, the advertising on that basis was made illegal. The last case that I'll reference is the National Apartment Leasing Company decision in 1991. It was a huge housing victory for the city of Pittsburgh with covering over 1,000 housing units. And it didn't start because somebody was treated poorly and thought to come to the commission to report that. It was a whistleblower situation where someone who was on the staff of the National Apartment Leasing Company was not comfortable marking applications in a way that would identify a person's race or presumed race based on what they sounded like on the telephone. And that decision had a huge impact, was a very large settlement for the commission, and really sets the tone for, if you see something, say something. We are not bound to have only the people who have been marginalized come forward and speak. It could be any one of us. And with our 70th anniversary, we could go back and look at all of the other protections that we've added in the years prior as well. 1990, we added sexual orientation. That wasn't added on the federal level until 2021. And now it's being questioned. Not here in Pittsburgh. Likewise, gender identity and expression were added in 2014, and they are being questioned as valid and worthy on the federal level, not in the city of Pittsburgh. We don't take for granted the home rule that we have to work with to add protections as we see fit as a commission. Things are ever changing. People continue to be marginalized in new ways on different bases, and we are here to help represent those folks so that they do not continue to be harmed. The ultimate goal of the commission is not to penalize people, although we will if we have to, but we're trying to get a remedy for some of the harms that have happened to people. We want to get ahead of any of the issues that have occurred or that could occur in the future by providing education. And on that note, I'd like to highlight the fact that we have some events coming forward in the next month or so that I would very much like for folks to pay attention to, participate in. They are free events, they are educational, they are on your rights, or if you happen to be an employer or a landlord, property manager, what have you, in the city of Pittsburgh, it is about your responsibilities as well. So Wednesday, July 23rd from 11:30 to 2:30, we will be having our second annual Employment Discrimination, the Administrative Process training. And that's going to be held at 412 Boulevard of the Allies in their basement meeting room. We've got some handouts over to the right here of me if you need to get more details on that, or if you know any lawyer friends who may need some CLE credit for free. And the second is our Fair Housing for Landlords event that will be held on Friday, August 15th from 1 to 4 p.m. at the PghCHR in Southside Works. This is a training that we partner with the Fair Housing Partnership to conduct multiple times a year, because we find it valuable to put ourselves out there and offer the information ahead of time so that landlords are not surprised by new protections. They're not surprised by the changes in the law, and they don't feel penalized when they receive a complaint of discrimination because they just didn't know better. We will help you to know better. If you have questions, if you don't know what the right thing to do is, if you feel like something's discriminatory, please call us. We are here. My staff is excellent, and they are here to answer your questions. And if we don't have an answer ready for you, we will find it for you, because that's what we're here to do. So with that, I'm going to turn this over to Commissioner Rossolo. We're going to alter our schedule just a little bit here, but thank you all so much for being here. You didn't have to. I know it's hot and very humid out here, but I appreciate you all. Thank you for your partnership.
Hello, I am Genevieve Rossolo. I am the first vice chair and the chair of the compliance review section. Today, as we celebrate the 70th anniversary of the Pittsburgh Commission on Human Relations, we commemorate that since 1955, the Commission has worked to make sure that everyone in our city is treated with fairness, dignity, and respect, no matter who they are. If someone believes that they've been treated unfairly while living, working, or doing business in this city, whether it's at their job, in their housing search, or while they're just out in public, they have the right to bring their complaint to us, and that's the word we want to continue to get out. Our team investigates these concerns, and then every month, our compliance review section reviews those results and makes sure that the process is fair and that the law is applied equally. My great-grandparents immigrated to Pittsburgh in the early 1900s, and they've made this city our home. So it's been such a privilege to give back to my city by serving on this commission, alongside the group of wonderful fellow commissioners who bring a wide range of voices and experiences to the table. I especially want to thank our staff and investigators for all your hard work and the dedication to keep moving our mission forward. Every case that you handle helps make Pittsburgh more inclusive and more just. So thank you. In today's world, and just to mimic some of Councilperson Warwick's comments, in today's current environment where inequality and injustice still exist, this work is more important than ever. And we remain committed to it and to the vision on which it was founded. We would like to create a city where civil rights are protected and justice is a promise, not just a promise, but a practice. Thank you.
Being that it is lunchtime during a Tuesday, we weren't able to get more of our commissioners on board to participate with us today. But please let me assure you, they work tirelessly on the work that we do. They participate in their committee meetings every month. The compliance review section, we literally could not move business without them. They are the ones who assess whether the investigations have been done thoroughly and whether we are applying the law evenly. And we really couldn't do it without you. So I just special thank you again to Compliance Review for putting in the work. Both of these commissioners behind me do serve on Compliance Review. And just as important is our public hearing section, because in the most recent years, we've been seeing an increase in what we call probable cause cases, where if we do our neutral investigation and we collect the facts and we find that there was likely discrimination that occurred, and we're unable to get that case settled, we do take that forward to a public hearing. And we need those public hearing commissioners to be able to hear those cases fresh and to make a determination on whether based on all of the evidence presented, discrimination occurred or not. And our commission has the special ability to be able to enforce an order from a public hearing in court. And we're actually in the process of doing so now, and we have a few cases on the public hearing docket. And again, we have staff that do the work, but we could not complete the work without our commissioners. If you are someone who is interested in anti-discrimination work, if you're interested in furthering civil rights in the city of Pittsburgh, and you happen to be a city of Pittsburgh resident, please see us. We would love to have you apply as a commissioner. We have 4 vacancies currently, and we would love to just be able to say, not only do we have a full staff, but we have a full commission roster as well. I'll wrap it up. Anyone who's experiencing discrimination in the city of Pittsburgh, please give us a call. If we can't handle it because it's outside of our jurisdiction, we'll send it to those lovely folks over to the right of me here, the Pennsylvania Commission on Human Relations. They do what we do, but they have the entire state under their belt, so we do what we can where we can. And we also refer to our federal partners when applicable as well. But like I said, if they're going to start rolling back protections for people, we won't be. So you always have us if what's going on in Pittsburgh is unfair to you. Thanks for being here.